Okay, so this will be episode 62, cycle 1077 and on. I really need to get stuck into this. So, hello YouTube. This episode should be going up on Wednesday this week. So, there is that. Last week was a complete crap show, so we really didn't have any time to get any action included recorded, so yeah. Thankfully, I already had episodes up for that week, so that's good. 61. I did have to do some tweaks on Thursday and also on Sunday, so thankfully that's all fixed now, but yeah. Today will be 62, and then also 63 will be recorded immediately after some Genshin later. So we need to get through today and see how far we get for this episode. Everything is loaded. Do a regular priority check and load check. Sure, every single area is loaded. Don't want any sort of weird craziness going on. Gene's here. Gene, where are you right now? Ah, you're on your way back. Okay. We'll be back in 1.2 cycles. Everyone is loaded. We are safe. We'll probably be coming back to Dripola here shortly, because I need to be reclaiming more resources. So, that is cleaned. Temperatures are still terrible. Yep. Yep. Rootable. Way too cold. Doing good work, though. Temperature-wise, 18, 17. Okay, cool. That's all getting chilled. System is perfectly balanced, so it shouldn't break anymore. The rubber has a lot of cleanup to do, sadly. But at least the base is mostly good. Temperature-wise, though, still quite terrible. I was only really able to heat up the corner using naphtha, as well as the now mini Rodriguez into the micro Rodriguez. So those are not going to run. Gas-wise, we are extremely overpressurized, and yeah, yeah, we're doing fine there. That's good. Should probably start cleaning some of this up. Let's not do that. They're gonna get attacked. Oh, where I need to put more stuff. Just kind of looking through everything. I am happy to report that we can finally put some aluminum down. That's good. Yeah, the bigger problem, obviously, is needing to clean up most of the steam. Much too hot in here to do that much. Dead bees are in here. Spot. Oh, we have finally reached the other hive. Yay! Good job, bees. Wondering when they were gonna finally do that. How you guys doing? 8. Yeah, the whole system's actually still working out okay. Good. Still got nuclear waste there? Yup. cooling this down, but I gotta get rid of this actual cooling loop first. Nothing in here can survive yet. Ah, I gotta get the temperature down. I'm trying. I really am. Like that's one of our bigger problems. At least as of current. Drunk still hurt. Dean, how you doing? Yes, why is you doing okay? Oh, he's not gonna make it with that one. Hey, Infost. Welcome back, by the way. Ugh. Yeah, I took yesterday off. Just because I was like, fuck it, I'm tired. I don't really want to be streaming yet. And then we ended up playing Chimera Land. And that game is actually really fucking good. Oh, which is hilarious. I'm just happy the fridge is working. We've had no problems. Everything is installed. It's good. Like, finally, we actually have food that I can actually cook here. Like, yesterday was waiting on it to chill down, so I was just, well, there's really not much else I can do. At least at that point. I'm just happy to have a working IRL fridge again. I'm just gonna pretty much I'm pretty much just writing off on Sunday for just, I did a bunch of other commission work, all that's done. I needed some time to just be like, I have working food, I can actually cook, this isn't terrible anymore. Like, and it feels pretty good. And obviously today we'll be doing double Action Not Included and Genshin. So, take a break is a good thing from time to time. I know, right? Especially after how shit last week was. I was running on 2 hours of sleep pretty much every day because my parents kept waking me up because they needed me for other stuff because the fridge was down. Ugh, it was fucking awful. It really was. It's just god awful that entire week. Add in the fact that we had, what, 3 internet outages, like, maybe 30 power outage, like, brownouts. It was horrible. Like, seriously, last week was just freaking awful. I'm just happy to be playing Action Not Included again. Like, yes, I have ONI. I have my comfort game. That's the best way I can describe it. There's really no other way to describe Action Not Included. Nope. I think Gene's almost back. Yep. Yeah, today we'll be going back to Drapola, and I might be moving some of the dupes in and making an actual fungal spore area. I just need more pips, I think. I might try doing an actual natural farm of fungal dust caps, but yeah, I don't know. I know the series would be, yeah. What about it? It was good for like the first season and then kind of fell off because the creators couldn't really figure it out. And then, remember right, the main creator ended up passing away and then the writers didn't really know what to do after that. Yeah, I've heard about it. I heard about that one specifically. I haven't heard good things though. But I don't know. What's your take on it? I haven't watched it, so I can't give an actual opinion on it. I know what other people have told me, but again, that's all I could say is I haven't heard good things because I haven't personally watched it because I don't think it's publicly aired anywhere yet. Isn't it stuck in Netflix jail? Or is that somewhere else? Watching Ruby after the anime is like watching some fan-made MMTS. Yeah, I could see it. If I remember right, the biggest problem that Ruby had was the fact that the original creator ended up passing away. I think, what was it, a car accident or something? There's some, like, it was completely out of nowhere. And it really did suck. But I can't remember. Oh, for the life of me. I remember that was when Rooster Teeth was dealing with a bunch of other stuff, and it was, like, kind of like a complete shit fest of what happened with that. It wasn't good. That's all I remember. It wasn't good. Looks nice so far? Okay. Well, as long as the writing was good, that's what matters. Like, the original actual animation work that was done with the first, like, preview series stuff for Ruby was actually really good, and then it just fell off like a rock. Because I mean, the original, as I said, the original creator, I think, is no longer on the project. As I said, it's been a long time, though, with Ruby. It's what? It's almost 8 years now? God, how long has it been since Ruby first released? It's been a long time. We're closing in on a decade, I think. Why is there water here? Why was there water here? Guessing broken pipe somewhere? Some steam got through. Fine. They must have broke the pipe. How are you guys doing? Actually doing okay. I still don't know how I'm going to actually get this done. I keep looking at the problem and going, I don't really fully grasp how I'm going to clean this out. Because I need to vent all of this steam. Well, I need to recondense all of this steam. So I need to kick it down to below 100 degrees. And then I need to vent this chamber and this chamber. In here is fine. In there is fine. Over here needs to be vented, well, converted to water. And all of this needs to be converted to water. I have no idea how I'm going to pull that off. Like, I'm trying. We're plowing through it to the best of our abilities, but I feel like I just need to make channels of steam turbines. I can't put them in here yet. It's 300 degrees, and steam turbines only last at 225, I believe. If I remember correctly. Like, they literally won't even run anyway. Like, they won't melt. Yeah, overheat temperature 1050, but they can't run because it's over 100. So, yeah. The second these hit over 100, they can't do squat. So I keep looking at it like, how am I going to do this? We'll engineer our way through it, but I don't completely grasp how I'm going to pull this off. I can also connect that, I think, finally. Not have right there. Okay, cool. I think we're going to use crude oil for the coolant, but on the other hand, I could just use nuclear waste. But I really not that big of a fan of utilizing nuclear waste as a coolant. And I still need to make the pipe that will go all the way up here. And I also need to add a cooling loop for this. Steam is left in here. Quite a bit. We fully fueled? We are. I'm just trying to think how I'm going to mathematically, like, set this up. Because this all needs to be converted to water, this needs to be removed, this needs to be upgraded to a nuclear setup. Oh. Hey, Gene's here. Oh, Gene's back, I should say. Okay, crossbow jet? Dude, no. I haven't had jack shit for time. As I said, I've been running on 2 hours of sleep every day. It's been a complete shit show. Like, technically speaking, the only time I would have had any time for it would have been yesterday. But then we had a meme game show up that a friend of mine was like, hey, have you seen this thing? We tried it, and it actually turned out to be really fucking good. And it was like, oh, wait, seriously? So like the last, I don't know, maybe 18 hours of just R&R time has just been that. And I was like, okay, cool. That would have been the only time. But I was doing a bunch of commission work, and then I was literally just finishing it, and then that came into my DMs, and it was just like, okay, let me go check this thing out. Downloaded it in about like, what, I think maybe 10 seconds. Like, I was in within, yeah, I was in within about a minute. And then I was like, okay, this character creator is insane. In a good way. Awesome. And then I went and played it, and it was just like, okay. This is a really fucking good Ark-like combination game. And then everyone else started playing it as well. Because they were watching me play it, and I was just streaming in Discord for a little bit. Just to show off this game to a couple of people that were asking me, like, what the fuck is this thing? Like, everyone else is just like, we don't know what this is. So I was like, okay, fine. Oh, I'm not gonna burn out, man. Let's be on that one. I don't burn out on games. If I burned out on games, I wouldn't still be streaming for how many years has it been? 7? I don't know, actually. I didn't think about it. Actually, no, it's been more like, we're almost at 8, I think. God damn, I don't remember how long it's been. Let's see. I made my account in 2013. I started streaming in 2014. I didn't stream every day. We've been streaming every day for like the last 3 years almost. It's been 8 years since I've been on Twitch. But I didn't stream every day. Well, college pretty much prevented that all the time. But yeah. I would say only for sort of the last like year and a half to 2 years that we've been doing it every day. To the best of my abilities. But yeah, for me, I don't really burn out on games. I don't know. I feel like I feel like the weird one when it comes to that, because it's like, how should I put it? I don't burn out on games. The only reason I don't stream is because of technically factors that are outside my ability to do anything about it. Like, for instance, the fridge dying. And then my family needing me to help them with a ton of stuff because the fridge died. So there was really nothing I could do about that. That was just what happened. And it's like, okay, cool. Or say I get food poisoning because the fridge died, and that knocked me out for 4 days. Like, there's just a giant laundry list of crap that will impede my ability to play the games that I want to play and stream the stuff that I want to stream. And it sucks. Like, that's all outside of my control. There's literally almost nothing I can do about it. And I feel like that's probably why I don't burn out on stuff. Like, with ONI, we've been streaming ONI, what? Late 2017? Like, it's been a long time. I keep building new bases and doing all this crazy shit, and it's just like, it's really, really fun. I never get tired of it. And I feel like I'm the weird one. Yeah, I have no other way to describe it than I'm probably the weird one here. Of any crazy designs? I mean, my base is pretty much a crazy design. I mean, do you want some not actually spaghetti that looks like it's spaghetti? Also, welcome back, Puster. I mean, I've made a regolith melter once. I think I've done 4 or 5 sour gas boilers. I think the craziest design I ever did was the double petroleum boiler. Just non-typical stuff. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think the craziest thing I ever put together was a double petroleum boiler. And I was using an actual vertical boiler and a horizontal boiler within the same setup, with the same source of lava. Just because of how the volcano spawned and the space requirements that were needed, I ended up making a vertical boiler off to the left and a horizontal boiler down and to the right from the same source that was above. It was in the bottom right hand corner of a map. Actually worked really, really well. I think that was probably the craziest design. We run with odd designs only. You've not tried taming the gold volcano yet? I mean, again, gold volcanoes are literally just this. Like, it's a sad fact of life, but they put out so little energy that it's almost not even worth mentioning. You get it all set up, but then you just kind of ignore it. I know, golds are literally the easiest. I know how fast you are, Infest. I know. I just say, make sure you pop it open and make sure it's in a vacuum, and it'll be perfectly fine. You don't need to worry about it. Now, cobalt you got to worry about, iron you got to worry about, copper's the worst. Copper and niobium. Those are the two. Probably, actually, yeah. If you threw in some tropical ones, they would handle the temperature. As long as water was still there, they would be okay. I've got absolutely wrecked again. What are you doing? Get to the med bay. Yeah, for like atypical designs, I mean, I always use my particle accelerators, but that's just me. Nice. I think I've only ever done that once, and it was utilizing... Oh, which one was it? I'm trying to remember which animal it was. I think I was actually utilizing puffs to clean out hot oxygen into oxalate. And I just used it for a gold volcano. Like, I just left the gold volcano in the open with oxygen, and I used dense puffs to lower the temperature. Because they would always pump it out at a... What was it? I think it was 45 at the time? But that was a thing. That was really weird. It was really derpy. Again, I only did it for gold, though. Because you can do that with gold. I have 100 Paku in my sandbox. I'm just letting everything in. Ah, gotcha. The good old science lab worlds. I still need to actually run my nuclear power plant for longer than like 100 cycles and check it. Sonic suggests. No, I have not, and that concerns me. What is it exactly? Ah, temperature. No, pressure is still bad. Temperature just worse. Where are you going? Oh, you're actually feeling good. Is one of the bees asleep? Yep. All game in a word. Ah, gotcha. I was about to say, I'm like, most likely that's got to be a community-made game, and I would be concerned. But why is it pertinent? Did something happen with it recently? B93. No, not really. Okay. So, gotcha. Gotcha. Still debating about what I need to send over here. Probably some more steel, but I'm pretty sure we actually have enough. Double check. Got a naphtha for our liquid locks if we need them. 200, 400, 600, 8, 1,200. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, we got 1,200 kilograms. So that's another aqua tuner. So pipe-wise, this one goes that way. This gets expanded. Yeah. We'll just combine them both. Can they supply nose cones one tile away from the scaffolding? I believe they can. Because the game technically goes based off of one tile. Right now I'm 2 tiles away, so I can't actually reach it. But I know that they can do it from this tile, and I'm pretty sure they can do it from that tile. So if they stand right here, I believe they can reach it. And if they stand right there, they can reach it. Because technically, the nose cone's hitbox is these 3x4. But yeah, they can reach from technically down here. They just have to stand on this. Obviously, right now it's saying unreachable storage, but that's because I don't have any diamonds, and I wasn't actually getting this warning until the rocket came back. Because they can reach it, it's just that it's not calculating. Because of course it's not. Why would it ever be that easy? How much range do we have right now on the rocket? Range remaining 4 tiles. I wouldn't be able to get anything researched at this point. I gotta wait for that to refill. I set that for sleep only, and we will clear out the food for now. Temperatures. Oh, nice solid 23.2. Good. And oxygen. Oh, we have some CO2. Why do we have CO2 in here? How do we have CO2? Oh. No, that's being ejected that way. Oops. Oh, we have a blob. Tiny little blob. 2 of them. 60 grams. What? Dupe releases 100. Okay, I'm confused, but okay. Sure. By the way, what is Infest? So many cuddle pips. God. stress relief is absolutely absurd. So many hugs. And having issues with random CO2 getting into pipes and blocking oxygen. Yeah, that seems to be a regular issue. That's pretty normal. Unless you completely seal off the duplicants. And even then, sometimes CO2 likes to make it through things. But that's if you're not watching a planet. At least if you're in a DLC. If you're in base game, you should never have teleporting resources. At least, except for when you save and load the game. I should definitely clarify that. Also, Saber, what are you doing down there? I know the pocket were over there, but come on, dude. There you go. Ship over some more water, melt some more stuff. A good way to arrange multiple pumps in a way to mix gases in a single pipe. That is purely dependent on the pipe priority calculation. Nails, you're not bad, but you're a gourmet, so sorry, bud. I like you guys. Follow me, actually. But one of the issues that you have when it comes down to like pipe priority for trying to get multiple liquids or gases into stuff is that I'll just do it up here in space. It'll be easier for me to explain it. So the thing that you need to remember is that the game will calculate left to right and then bottom to top when it comes to gases, as well as liquids. That's why on the water world, you'll always find that the water will always go to the right and then up. And whenever you have like what I would classify as high tide, is that the game calculation goes like this. So the water will move up and to the right every time. So if you wanted to end up mechanically pulling in different gases into a singular pipe, you would definitely have to do it in a way that it would lock this off. And then you would have one gas coming in this way, one gas coming in this way. And obviously this would need to be sealed in like this. The only tile you'd have to worry about is this one right here. Because this will be a vacuum all the time. As long as the rest of this has been vacuumed out beforehand. But what would happen is that, if I remember correctly, this gas would get put in first, then this gas down here would go in afterwards. So mechanically, if you say you had oxygen coming in this way, and then CO2 coming in this way, you could balance it out mechanically, as long as you had a continuous flow, that you would have oxygen being put into the pipe, and then CO2 being put in the pipe. Then you use pipe priority to actually arrange the different type of setup. If you're trying to do it with multiple gases, it's literally the exact same thing. The main reason being is that you need to make sure that whatever gas that you want organized has to be organized first mechanically, and then you can pump all the other gases in. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. You have to do this first before you start pumping multiple gases in. Because, again, if you have... Remember, only one gas can be in a pipe per tile. So every single tile can only have one type of gas. So if you wanted to organize it already by using multiple pumps, you would need a setup like this to identify which piece of the pipe needs to be which gas. So say you had, like, I don't know, each of these are in a different room. All of them are being sent into this pipe network. And you want to make sure that you organize it into one pipe. This would be the identifier pipe. This would be the actual input. So the thing is that you have to organize the gases beforehand when trying to input. That's how the powerless filters work. So I'll just leave that there as an example. But say I am getting, like CO2 and oxygen here. If I wanted to actually organize this, I would need to make it so that way it would be 1-to-1. So one CO2 blob to one oxygen blob. And then I could input oxygen onto this pipe here. And what would happen is every one of these blobs would end up actually transferring from here into here and fill these blobs up. And then the CO2 wouldn't gain anything. But this would still be completely organized around the initial designation of what goes in the pipe. Because remember, you can only have one type of gas per pipe segment. That's what I'm trying to tell you, is that you need to make sure that you already have it organized before you dump everything and all the other gases into one pipe. Because this system works in the same exact way as an actual powerless filter. The powerless filter is the exact same as just literally doing, what was it? Gas shutoff valve. That. There. And then bridge from there. So what you do is that you make sure CO2 gets in these little 4 pipes right here. And then whenever CO2 goes through this pipe system, the CO2 will get sucked off and then pulled that way. And then the oxygen would go that way. And hydrogen or whatever other gas. As long as you put in whatever gas that you wanted to be pulled off into these 4 pipes here, then you're good. I know. What I'm just telling you is that this is how the game mechanics work that make powerless filters a thing. Is that this is how it gets sucked in from a pump. So this is something you need to think about. This is how you would technically organize it. And then this is literally the same exact mechanic. And that's why you're asking me, oh, I want to put all of these gases on one pipe and then keep it organized. This is why it does the way it does. Because that's how Oxygen Not Included is programmed. So this entire thing is literally just an example of, this is why ONI works the way it does and why it's all janky. But yes, if you're trying to just do it powerlessly, then that's pretty much what you're going to be stuck with. You can technically just, you know, instead already pre-organize it so you don't have to worry about it, but yeah. And my last colony was janky? Exactly. Oxygen Not Included. Ah, perfection. In all of its jank. Also, hey Throll. Welcome back, by the way. But yes. When we're talking about trying to put everything onto one pipe as a whole, that's pretty much all you have to think about is how many nodes per pipe segment is going to be which gas, and then do I need these gases to be filtered off of this pipe? If the answer is yes at any of those points, then you'd either decide, do I want to use the game mechanics to make a powerless filter to pull that gas off the pipe for filtering purposes, or do I just use a regular gas filter and just consume the power? It's really up to you. Most people will probably just end up doing the powerless filter route. Other people will just do, you know, screw it, I've got excess power, who cares? That's really what it comes down to. Same with liquids. Same exact principles apply. I don't know if I would ever want to build a base that was literally just one gas segment, though. Could be done. I just don't think it would be a good idea. Nope. My water overflowing again. Kind of. I am seeing the bees are finally making their way out. I should mention the bees finally reached the other beta hive by cleaning up all the uranium. As you can see, they're slowly getting through it. I might need to steal this then so they stop going this way. I do eventually want them to clean this up. I think it'll just take a little bit longer. How much more aluminum are we running? 19 and 9. Okay, good. We almost have all the aluminum that I need. I'm pretty sure we do, I just have to wait on the dupes. I should probably connect this to that. And also this one, that one. That. Still, as I said before, I have no idea how I'm going to vent this. Because it's 300 degrees. And I can't really... I don't have niobium yet. And this won't survive here. The max is 275 on this. And that's 343. So, yeah, none of my steel equipment can survive down here yet. Oh, also reheated. No more cooling. Yep. Dormant for 27.9. Yep. I just run the system dry real quick. Okay. Still am kind of debating on my actual clay output. Like, it's not terrible. I just wish I could better filter out the oxygen to polluted oxygen while keeping it small. That's been the bigger issue. Technically, I could just slap a vent in here. I think so. And automation-wise, it's pretty straightforward. Of course, pressure and timer setup. I'm so used to building much larger ones than this, but I wanted to keep it small because our map is small. So it's like, let's just kind of cram it in somewhere. So iffy on it. I keep looking at it like, I need a bit more ceramic. I mean, we're already at 18.4 tons, but that's literally nothing in the grand scheme of things. It's so little. It really is. Hydrogen going. Fine. No. Yeah. There we go. Okay, how goes refilling the nuclear rocket? It goes. Definitely need to get that rocket up and operational. How is the pressures in here? It's still going down. Good. It'll definitely be a little while before we can reuse this rocket again. I was thinking about switching this out for a another vent. Swapping one in the bathroom. And just venting the entire system. It's just so much materials that needs to get out of there. How many eggs are we looking at? Oh, okay, yeah, no, we're good. We're good. I was like, why does it look like I have a lull or I had a large die-off? Goes and looks. Oh, yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good. Driver station can put a big gas pump. Yeah, I know it can. The problem is I don't actually have my rocket currently hooked up to power. So if I do run a large one, it burns out within about one cycle. We don't get enough light it If you go watch the other episodes, you'll notice that we ran out of power every time. And it can't clean it out. So the small one's just more efficient. And literally, it'll take me, I believe, what was it? It takes 7 cycles to clean the rocket, I believe, if I remember right, with the small one. Whereas the large one takes 10 because it constantly runs out of juice. Not at the moment. I've just been letting this little guy running around all over the place. So the Puff Prince has been doing this exact same thing. I should probably clean those up. Yeah. Way ahead of you, trying to get them to spawn. Yeah, trust me, I really did. I do want that to happen so that way I can clean out the rockets so much faster. Painful. We all play Oxygen Not Included. We all have the same exact thought process on how to deal with the situation at hand. It's like, ah! Trying already. It's going as fast as it can. Also when I take a giant extension cord and... Yeah, I would have to take an extension cord over here, up, over, and up. And then when I switch to nuclear, I'd probably need to upgrade it. Or at least just turn it into wolframite to start with, probably. Actually, sorry, tungsten. Oh, it wouldn't melt. Actually, how much wolframite do I even have right now? I mean, not that much. Yeah, not that much. Yeah, right now it's just kind of waiting for everything to get moving. Then we're going to be coming back here, actually getting this thing properly analyzed, locking it in, and then not completely forgetting about it. I probably need to expand this. I'm thinking that... Yeah, I'm thinking either I'm going to add a box over here so that way I can reduce the amount of DPS lag from this. And just utilizing this cooling for any cooling I'll need for the natural gas geyser, and then set up another cooling box for this, and this one's equipment. The copper volcano I'm pretty sure is right here. So that'll need its own thing. But I'm pretty sure I could just set up an actual aqua tuner probably inside this one. Yeah, I could probably do that. I could set up an aqua tuner inside this room, so that way I don't have to worry about it at all. And then just connect it to all of the steam turbines that'll be connected to this cobalt volcano, the gold volcano below, and the other one. We're not touching this hot polluted oxygen vent. We don't need it. I'll just be boxing this in and forgetting about it. Go faster, buddy. Oh, still ran out of power at this point. Oh, yeah, because it's morning. That's why. Anything else running in here? Is that it? It's just 60. Because low illumination. Yeah, there it goes. Still need to rejig a lot of my pipe networks. I'll be so happy when I'm finally done with this steam turbine and we can just use pure nuclear. We're not making enough rad bolts for me to completely swap over yet. It's getting there, it's just not there yet. Really need the that to stop randomly being generated. I'll be so happy when that solid nuclear waste finally melts. doing that right now. Eh, it's getting there. It's gonna be a little while. Above. Back active in 41. Can't even put in the aqua tuners in here yet. Because it just won't survive. That's like literally the worst part of it. It will not survive in here. Not yet, anyway. Damn you, crappy cooling. Might need to rejig where this is actually going. I can always just separate here and then reconnect it so it'll get back into cooling and we'll just not be draining the system. I really need to actually get this connected on up. Just trying to think how we're going to get this set up. Because I need to be able to connect this aqua tuner to the bees. But before that, this definitely will probably be running a naphtha loop. Specifically to cool down these two. So they can just run indefinitely. So as such, I think what we're going to do is... Fine. Go there and then over. When it going through my liquid lock? That should be fine. Even if it teleports liquid, I think we'll be okay. So if we're going to make a cut through point, it would need to be here, here, and this one to this one. This is so hot, this is instantaneously converting all polluted water, so it's not actually moving dirt here anymore. I can probably get rid of this pipe. I'll keep this in so that way it can build up if necessary, and then... yeah. Should be able to just sever this. Bigger problem is connecting this over to this. That. This is so janky. It's worth it. It's worth getting the job done. Yep. And then eventually this cooling loop will be brought straight line down. Actually, I'll probably actually just drive it to here, cross over here, go down, and then loop up this and this. So this will be severed here. This loop will be maintained, this loop will be maintained, and the output will be right here, over this ceramic pipe. Because this is the water that'll be going to the nuclear power plant. So I'll just branch it over here. Pretty much just cross up. Yeah, we'll just go straight up over and then connect in. More straight lanes, the better. I was thinking of just going straight into here and then straight into there, but Obviously, I still need to maintain the actual water line, so this is all staying. This is the stuff that can technically... And this giant freaking super cooling loop needs to definitely not be here anymore. I'll have to figure out another cooling loop for my oxygen specifically. Technically, we don't really need it. I don't really need to be cooling in here, because the entire base is already pretty much regulated by this cooling loop. The only thing that needs to be done is all of this polluted water needs to be switched out for supercoolant. The fridge needs to be switched out for supercoolant. And I could stay. I think that's really it. There's only really 2 cooling loops that need to be turned into supercoolant. Technically the bees as well. I mean, that's quite a bit of energy that could be converted, so it'd be a little bit more efficient that way. But it's just these 2. I'd be so happy when I can get rid of this, like, make this straight line. It'd be so nice. I want to have all these bridges everywhere. Everything will be a nice, just straight shot, and I don't have to worry about it. Good. Why is there now a dip here? Okay, game. Put that all back in there. I'll be a little while before that gets chilled. Construction-wise, up all of this to a 9, so that's done. We will probably put naphtha into this, just because we'll be dealing with somewhat high temperatures. I don't want to use ethanol. And polluted water probably won't be enough. I mean, technically, polluted water would be enough. That's good. Yeah, 50-50. I think we could just go with naphtha. Just make it anyway, it's not really that big of a deal. It's only slightly annoying. Not to mention I could probably push the temperature way lower anyway. Just to apply more cooling. So I'll get moving on that front. Rover, how you doing? Probably queue up all of this. I'm so glad I love the fact that rovers no longer crash the game, just because they're extremely useful at cleaning up your bases. Just obviously be careful about the massage sticks. You don't have stress. Just don't cause problems. Also, he's technically dead, but he's still gonna keep running because rovers always do that. You never know when they're gonna die. All you know is that they just keep running. Or you just leave them alone and let them do their thing. This is a good rover. I'll rebuild him next time I land and immediately redeploy him. Like we had some more bee attacks. Or it was crabs. I don't actually know. Bookshells, did you guys attack my guys? Your health at 88? No, no. It's either a rad bolt or a bee. One of the two. So you shouldn't be able to go in there, so I don't think you would have been hit by that rad bolt. I don't know. Probably a bee. Give my best guess. Nope. It's radioactive. Yep, can you do that real quick? Or the CO2 will stop getting in here and making the bees pass out. Yep. That'll do. Just so happy we finally reached the other beta hive. 3.3. Oh, god damn. 3.3 thousand kilograms of enriched uranium in there. I needs it. Can't use it yet, but I do need it. Also, really do need to figure out where I'm going to put the natural gas generators to clean this thing out. I mean, technically I could just slap it here and just steam off the excess materials. Or it wouldn't do that, it'd just fall down here. Not hot enough. I don't have any outputs. Technically, I could connect it to this pipe. Just vent all the polluted water through there. It's gonna look like spaghetti over here until until this gets cleaned up. This is all going to be pipe spaghetti. There is nothing I can do about that. Ooh, fire seeds. Also, pay. You have critter reversion. The one thing I will never accept at this point. Joya seeds though. Temperatures actually in the green, and where it matters most, I guess. I still need to get naphtha over here considerably. Want dry seeds there or base temps? I can always use those over here. Call them in. Shiro, what is your skills and your suits at the moment? And Saber also needed to get farming. Farming. Where is Shiro? Oh, you're so close. You're so close. Soon he will be able to move around and not suck. So close. That. Leonard, did you need any other upgrades? No, not really. I think everybody's good, just in general for what they can do besides Saberspace and Shiro. Food is now up to 692,000, which is barbecue. I'm actually setting up a natural gas generator setup. Clean up all the garbage. Oh, that's all to 40. Yuck. It's not really near my cooling loop, but, you know. I'm thinking maybe natural gas generators here. Problem is yeah, that. So we're gonna have a petroleum boiler down here. Pretty much just gonna fit right in there. And this will be in its own little box eventually. It'll be a double layered obsidian cube. Exactly like this. I should line this up. 1, 2, 4. It'll be lined up pretty much like this. Probably give it 2 spaces for the lava to move. Area underneath it will be like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. I don't think I'll need to make a lava balancer. Actually, how much lava did you pump out? 251. I don't think we'll need a balancer for this. I'm pretty sure we don't. Yep. 2. Actually, we should size. Room will be input. This side. Yeah. One second. I know my dupes are going to come running down here. So yeah, that goes right there. This entire setup will have the memory toggle down here. This door will be set up with the memory toggle. This is an overall airlock setup. All the temperature transfer will go through to this. Which means that obsidian. Normally I would like to do it and put it on this side. I don't know if we can fit it in here. Maybe we could actually. What else is that? That might actually fit. Maybe? 12 tall. That might actually work. 13 by 11. Output will be down here. Input will be up here along this line. Yeah, we could actually just do it and fit it in right there. Petroleum input would be across the top. So then it would be snaking from this way, down, over, down, over, down. And outputting right here. Oh, I should say the crude input would be up here. The petroleum output would be down here. So it would come out this side right here, and then we could store it pretty much right next to the water, actually. The pipe network. Yeah, actually, that's not terrible. That's completely reasonable. Okay. Okay. I think we can do this. Obviously, I do not want to sever anything. I can't reach that, right? I'll just keep it like this. The dudes can fill in the rest of this and get the framework done. Temperatures. Not open that up yet. I can at least open that, right? Yes. Okay. So that should hopefully keep everything working. I might actually need to swap this over by 1. I need it to be 8. Actually, no. That should be fine. Yeah, that'll be fine. I did the measurement right. Okay. So lava blade can go 8 tiles, which means it will stop there. It'll fall down, hit this thing, this shuts, this one opens, that falls down, this shuts, this one stays there, solidifies it, the mining machine digs it all up. Oh, also, like OBS just lost connection for a second. Come on. Come on, you. I know it's hot. It's like 101 out there right now, and it's completely nighttime. Come on. And sorry about that, guy, everyone on YouTube, but we're going to be waiting on for Twitch chat here as it reconnects. Thankfully, Action Not Included can easily be paused, so I don't have to worry about it too much. It's just only mildly infuriating. Check on everything here. But yes, for anyone wondering about petroleum boilers, there you go. Just know that you need to make sure that the volcano has 9 tiles, roughly. The blade will go to 8, based off of the first tile. It'll end up right there. And for everyone in Twitch chat, looks like we've got to wait another 60 seconds here. Sorry everybody on YouTube, but we're all in this together. It is infuriating, but nothing I can do about that. Does look like everything's back. Looks like we had a small internet outage due to the heat. Check. Yep. Lots of spikes, lots of brown outages. Yep. Yep. It's too hot. Everything's melting out there. Looks like we're reconnected. Yep. Okay, good. For anyone that's currently watching, if you need to refresh your chat or refresh the stream, it should be fine. And I hope it doesn't slap you guys with ads. It shouldn't, but I never know around here. Not with Twitch trying to force them down everyone's throats. But let us continue. We're getting brown outages because of the heat. It's affecting everything. Because, well, our lines here are not buried, so whenever it gets really hot, then you get shorts. Lots and lots and lots of just really terrible experience. To the water, 60 degrees. Okay. I'm happy to see the temperatures falling over time. Content. You guys can work on that while I get everything else set up. Dub dupes. And yeah, sorry Twitch chat, I was just explaining to YouTube the mechanics of lava blading as well as for petroleum boilers real quick. Obviously because, you know, congratulations, OBS lost connection. Goes and checks it. Ah yes, we're having rolling brown outages. Awesome. Fun! Too hot. The systems at hand and infrastructure are melting. Not nearly as bad as Spain and some of the other places. Sorry for anyone that is currently living in those areas, but yeah. Really nothing I can do. Nothing anyone can really do at this point. Probably get rid of this blue deduction. Just brute force. Yeah. That'll just be the basic framework. Get all that going. Don't really need to watch the dupes. Perfectly safe. Mostly because I did not allow them to dig up anything that's super hot, so it should be fine. How goes the pipe network over here? It actually goes! I don't know if they can reach that one, and I don't know if they can reach these. I'm gonna higher priority them and see if they can. This one needs a moved. And that needs to be pushed. Also, I'm gonna do that. And connect that. Actually, make sure that this is made out of steel because we are going to be working with naphtha. I need to make sure that I make an overflow rate, so don't have to worry about it. Power-wise, in theory, I could probably just borrow this cable? Like, question mark? This is temporary, so... Conductive wire bridge to indicate it's a temporary connection. Also, let me add ladder segments. Easier. That's all completely accessible, so I just gotta wait on them. Oh, they're plugging away at it. Come on, dupes. Come on. Good. Maximum effort. Thank you. Actually, I want -2. That should get the ball rolling. Come on, dupes. Come on. There we go. Come on, dupes. Need to make sure that I don't have any liquid locks running naphtha right. Make sure that is off. I'm putting diamond in there. Oops, please finish up the aluminum. Please. Aye, aye. It just sucks that it's like, congratulations, it's so hot that your internet will go out from time to time. Happening all day. Oh my god, they're so close. Come on. Oops. It's 2 cables. Come on. Gene, I know you gotta go to the bathroom, but hurry this up, man. Please. I want to get this cooling loop up and operational. I believe in you, goddammit. I believe in you. Thank you. Okay. Now, let's make some naphtha. Fill of these. Ship plate. Plastic. Don't want Gene to be the one to come in there. Crazy? Okay, you're fine. Crazy's a good man. There. You know you don't need to be in there all the time. You have a power gym for a reason. Crazy? I saw you bringing the plastic. Or did you bring water? I brought water. Okay, that's fine. Like, wait. No, same thing. Prototype Gaming. Delivers. That's the whole thing. Infaust. I was coming in for the save. No. Actually, Infaust, what is your skills now? You've been with us for a long time. Construction is only level 1. Of course. Athletics 24, excavation is 10, pretty good. Strength is 6, creativity is 14. Culture 2 and husbandry 16. They are definitely helping out with that. Medicine's still 0 though. Same with science. I really need to get new seeds going so everyone can get their science up. Once everyone hits 20 science, then I can just like ignore everything. And then we're reaching super dupe status where it's like 20 science, 10 piloting on everyone, construction at 20, excavation 20, machinery 20, athletics like 24, 25-ish. Cuisine's probably always going to be like 10 unless I put people directly to it. Technically I just need more food to be processed. As you can see, very little minimum food. Right now we eat mostly barbecue and plant meat, and yeah, pickled meal is used specifically for rocket trips. I'd use berry sludge if I had any. That also works out pretty well. And oof. And then nothing. And water bottle. Copy settings. Okay, team. Bring it in. Hot. Really hot. the other way, so I need to move it. Originally thinking I was going to use this for this cooling loop over here, so coming in opposite. Right. I need to get this swamped. That. This. Branch this one over like this. That should cause a merge point at this location. This will go over and cross this to this, and both go there. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I was going to have this opposite direction, so none of this pipe needs. Okay. Should get all of this going. Very certain that we're good. Okay, dupes. Get the ball rolling. With 100, you are clear to go. And that's going to be really, really hot. Very little I can do about that yet. So the whole system runs its course. Okay. That should start cooling that whole system down. A little bit. Should slowly work its way. this anymore. And I can reclaim the power grid. Did use it. Breeze. Okay, cool. So that's all nice and balanced. So I don't really need to worry about it. I think we'll be fine. This will eventually get cooled down to below 50. I think I've got it set for, I think, 15. It should be fine. I do need to figure out what I'm going to do about this natural gas, though. I'm almost tempted to just vent it into space. I am super, super, super tempted to just, screw it. Until we actually get the entire area cleaned up and I can start putting in some natural gas generators down here, plus more ethanol generators. Oh, ethanol fillers. I really can't do that much. Especially this will be vacuumed down on this side. This will all be one giant little power pillar. The nuclear power plant goes here. This will get cleaned up. This will be vented. This will be vented. Uranium will get dropped in here, weight tested, and then put into the reactor. And I'm still thinking bees down here. Probably a large farm. And then the Paku. I don't think we'll ever do a Paku farm. I was thinking maybe Paku farm in the middle. Probably actually we'll do some experiments with the actual intros and bookshelves. Yeah, we'll probably do a test with the Sunny bookshelves for the most part. Dev just keeps getting hurt. Oh man. What's hurting them? I'm thinking that they're the one operating the diamond press, but this is above their head. And this door is locked, so I don't know what's causing them to get really hurt. I really don't know. I should probably be pulling the rockets though. I want to be making more diamond, but I feel like we don't really have that much option here. At least not yet anyway. Diamond's a byproduct when the rocket is here. And I don't need to be shipping stuff. You know, I keep looking at it like, I want to make more diamond. I want diamond tiles everywhere. I'll finally get rid of the plastic and upgrade the diamond. Because, you know, ridiculously nice. I think I gotta make one diamond tile. Shine nymph. Blue dye anemic builder. Nails, you got screwed. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. Unpracticed artist, pretty good. Animal lover as well, but no husband. Shine nymphs it is. Still dormant. How is the rocket cleanup? Slowly but assuredly, getting through it. Gases 5.7. Faster. I need more puffs. Can't really make more. Same way anyway. Yeah, we're still having the egg die-off situation. Perfectly fine, it's just there's a lot of them in there. Guessing the rover shut down? Yep. Finally died. He ran out of things to do. It's actually kind of sad that the rover, even if they run out of juice, will keep running for a little bit extra time. And it's perfectly like, it's like, okay, whatever, it's just a bug. But they keep going until they run out of things to do. So if you still keep like micromanaging them, they can run the entire time until you have to reload the game. And then they'll die instantly, wherever they're at. They'll just shut down right then and there. Actually did start getting pretty good, actually. All that, that. The base is almost completely cleaned up. You did good work. I will rebuild you when I get back. Swear it. Oh, we're fighting it. Fight that cooling. Come on. Watching it. I want to see continuous. Come on, guys. You both could do it. Right. Below 70. I believe in you. Come on, Aqua Tuner. Fight the freaking heat. You can do it. 2, 4. Slightly winning. B, 49, 51, 9 now. Now, we're losing. It's too powerful. It's too much energy. Not able to sap out enough energy from this. Oh, come on. Five. Hitting 84. We're fighting it. We're really fighting it. $86. If it doesn't hit 90, I think we're okay. God, I'm seriously burning that line. I've got 5 steam turbines going on this system. Drain the energy. Come on. Fight it. We need to cool this area down by any means necessary. I may actually add another steam turbine just to get the ball rolling. god dang hot. Worst part is pretty much this energy is wasted. I'm not gonna lie. I would love to connect these on up to the main grid. Oh, it's hitting 100. Yep, it's too much, it's too much. I got way too much. I can't. Too god dang hot. 90 degrees and 82, respectively. It's trying so hard. It really is. Oh man. Ooh. Pips, please refill the pips. Okay. Grab the tiny children. Deserve to be put into a better pen. I feel like we're going to have a large kaboom of eggs over here. The way that this is lining up. It's like, cool, we've got a death wave. Good news! It's going to be a lot of meat all at once. Oops, can you guys bring me the pipsqueaks? Please? Thank you. You need no pending deliveries. Please grab the other pipsqueak. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on, prototype. Bring me the tiny child. There you go. Thank you. On 5. Oh, it's getting better. I still feel like I should move this up. I don't know. Remove the masterpiece and then scoot it up. Any other place I could put it? I mean, technically speaking, I could scoot this up, add a tile here, add a statue, then change it back to a plastic ladder, and it would still work. But again, that's kind of cheating because it's technically just putting it into the wall. But, I mean, it works. Just not the way that you think it does. Time I've vent all the excess gas that's building up in here. We were approaching almost 4 kilograms. Oh boy. Way too much. I've thought about putting an OR gate up here so that way the polluted oxygen, if there's polluted oxygen detected here, then this door is shut. That way it'll all get vented into this way instead of the other way out. I mean, this way goes both ways. Funny, but yeah. Like, I can have clean oxygen getting vented through here, or I can have polluted oxygen venting through here and out. I'm gonna be careful of that. Thankfully, the pressures are pretty consistent. I think we'll be fine. And we're fighting it. It's just really hot. Like, really, really hot. Get back here so bad. It's a rocket gas situation. Out of power. Understandable. Carry on. Feels so cold. I have no idea how I'm going to get that much energy in there to be able to allow Buddy Bud to live again. Trying so much. Poor rocket. I really need more puffs. He needs to be self-replicating in there. Come on, dupes. Keep it up. Put temperature down here. 7, 82, 43. This will eventually get cooled down. It's going to take a while. I'm also taking a stupid amount of energy from here into this. We are converting 60% of it into power. It's still a lot. Are you guys holding up? I should probably send over some actual water, Haku and everything. We do have ice. We could probably just dump the ice in here. Big downside is it needs to warm up. Good news, warm enough in the water that it should probably pop. Or Saber, I'm sorry. You're so slow. Get your critter ranching as well as quickly as possible. Critter ranching 1. There you go, bud. From that. Right. Oh. Why not? Poor bud. There's your hat upgrade. Congratulations, dude. Probably need to naturally build a bunch of stuff for the pips, and also bring over some other pips. Kind of like, maybe I send a couple through the teleporter. Don't know. Nope. Okay, looks like it's also tipping out again. Too hot for everything. Come on, OBS, reconnect. Checking up on my base immediately. Oh yeah, OBS just died again. Go check the thing. Yep. Another outage. This is what happens when things get too hot. Nobody wants to play anything underground. Because of course. Oh, looks like we're back. Yep, back for a second. Capable. Also, welcome Neo. If you can actually hear me. Waiting on it. Come on. Fight the brown out. Fight the brown out. Thank God for battery backups. Seriously, fight it. You could do it. This is why we've been having a horrible time with streaming actually not included and actually getting episodes recorded, because it's not been stable enough. Thankfully, I am on a perfectly fine battery backup for recording on YouTube. Well, you guys are fine. But, yeah. Twitch over here is going to get absolutely screwed, and there's nothing I can do about it. Again, it's another thing that is outside my control. All we have to do is wait. Which sucks. But well. 3, 2, 1. Nope, didn't get a reconnect. The internet is still down. Come on, you. Come on. Don't leave episode 62 out on a bad whim. That would suck. Got about 30 minutes more. So I need to switch over. Come on. Come on, OBS. So come on, ISP. You could do it. You could fight your brownouts because of all the terrible heat problems that we're having here. Come on. It's trying so hard. It really is. Okay, I think we're back. Yep. Reconnection successful. Ah, thank goodness. Yeah, we're currently dealing with brownouts. Sorry for anyone on Twitch chat. More so that it's so hot that it's just nuking the lines outside. Nothing I can do about it. But also, if you need to, refresh the stream, and that should bring you straight up to date if you end up seeing this in the past. Also, hello Neo. Welcome back, by the way. Yeah. Heat's affecting everything. So, thankfully my battery backups are fine, and we're perfectly safe inside. But, outside, the infrastructure is not really surviving very well. Like, if at all. Like, it's trying. Really trying. Neighbor, you shouldn't be the one doing it. Okay. You don't have that much to do. There you go. But yes, we've been getting rolling brownouts for internet usage and power. Thank goodness I own a battery backup. Got 3 hours of charge, so the recording is safe. As long as it's not a complete, like, instantaneous blackout. But other than that, we're okay. Oh, goes again, maybe? Nope. Just staring at OBS while I'm looking around my base. If I make a mistake, we should be fine. Thinking about sending some cuddle pips across the dimension top. Yeah, screw it. We might as well send some cuddle pips over. I'll just have them wandering the base. There we go. That going. Construction, higher priority. Because the ladder's actually installed. We will need these. Go. Or dirt. I'm worried about. other than that, doing okay over here. What's the talent doing? It's the green. Good. Good numbers, guys. 51. Holy crap. Okay. Way too efficient, guys. One inside base. Where's your suit? Oop. Pretty sure there's 4 of you here, and I know I'm pretty sure there was 4 suits. Okay, they're just building. Where I had a 4 suit here. Well, if there wasn't one, then I guess we'll scoot it and make a new one. I only have plenty of iron. We're still debating about where to put the crusher. I was actually thinking down here. I don't really need these guys here anymore. It is kind of a waste of iron ore to be doing this, but on the other hand, we have more than enough barbecue that I don't really have to care anymore, and the excess pickled meal is for rockets when they land. Yeah. So, these 4 should be fine. I don't really need to worry about the rest of that. Should be able to fit right here. So many. It's beautiful. It is a lot. I was thinking about also setting up a Dreco farm here. I don't think we'll ever really need it. Really Stumful Talent. Rudabo, I'm still debating on food source. Because it's so cold, I don't know what we should grow here. Not enough water sources, I don't think. We have 1 really good water source. Maybe 2. That's really about it. Like, it does have water, but it's not very good. It's also stupidly cold, so I'm kind of like, maybe we could do mutant plants? Maybe? Don't know. Because my options are Bristle Blossom, which is kind of terrible. In general, they're not very good. You need them for an allergic dupe. That's really about their entire purpose. Or to drain the water world. If you want to clean up the water world pretty quickly, the best way to do it would be the Bristle Blossoms. so I could say that probably Bristle Blossom for Water World purposes is a very good idea. Spreads are useless. It really only leaves like Saturn Critter Traps with bees. Which I don't really want to bring a bee over here. That's a pain in the ass. Sweet wheat. Not a sprout. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's worth doing. To this day, I don't want to see a purpose for them. Fleetweed, on the other hand. Tempting. Definitely tempting to use Fleetweed on this planet. I could do it. The whole planet's absolutely cold, except the core. I don't know. We'll probably just end up going Fleetweed, to be completely frank, but I am thinking maybe we could try something different. It makes more sense to effectively use the space for naturally grown 3x1, or sorry, 3x3 Fleetweed farms. What do you guys think? Pretty sure that's probably about the general consensus. This one, I'm still thinking that we should try naturally planted dust caps. I haven't done one of those in forever. Oh, Hitting 10, Flatulent, though, Dark Lip, Night Owl, 7 and 5. Right? Not bad, mate. But I think it definitely better. Bells off, rating 80. Yeah, I think we'll just take the aluminum, process it back in my base. Yeah, it's getting there. Painfully slow. I feel like we're just having a die-off wave over here. Oh, well, actually no, we're going back up now. We have a lot of spare eggs. I don't know. I think we're still okay. Keeping an eye on it. There is a high likelihood it's just a die-off wave, which means that the eggs are all popping out roughly about the same time. That's why we have, there's a lot of them. Can't check them all, but I think we've just had a die-off wave. But also, Dev, what in the world happened to you? And why are you not in a med bed? you do? Seriously. What did you do to yourself? You know what? Dev? Not allowed to go through there. Also, not through there either. For your own safety. Are you guys handling it? Yeah, 38, 39. We've removed 30 degrees! Woohoo! More so we converted 30 degrees into electricity and then burned it off for practically nothing. I will take it. Come on. Gain more energy. Work faster. Oh, it's trying. Ugh. Too much energy. It is hyper energy dense, so it makes sense. But it's so frustrating. Of course, steam turbines. They're fighting it for everything that they've got. I definitely probably need to send dirt over soon. Maybe. It's actually working pretty well. Alright, yeah, it's fine. Should probably start preparing everything else. I don't have materials though. Started. We'll be putting in 20 layers or something stupid. All sleet weight, so quite a bit. Yep. Help with IDs. All I can do to help him. How is the nuclear rocket coming on? Yeah, almost halfway full. 4 degrees. 5 degrees-ish. It'll be a while before we get another giant spike of 4,000 kilograms. Oh, double the amount of radiation being produced. Soon. I'll be happy when we start breaking like, what, 3,000? I'd say 3,000 rads in this tiles. Because then we'll be hitting 300 rad bolts per... Yeah, about 300 rad bolts per cycle, roughly. So nice. Then it'll be just, what, pushing for that good old 10? Yeah. You can handle 4,000 rad bolts, so... Yeah, if we're hitting 3,000, that means one rad bolt generator will take 10 cycles to fully fill a rocket. With 4 of them going... What, 3? 4 cycles to fully fill a rad bolt rocket. And once that hits 4, then it will be... Oh, yeah. 10, then it's literally a rad bolt launch a day. No problem. Just has to hit, what, 20,000 kilograms or whatever to do that? I think 24, 22-ish. Obviously the big downside to that though is that the amount of radiation blocking, and why we don't put an actual rad bolt generator right on top of this, because technically speaking the amount of rad bolt being blocked by this single tile is going to pretty much make this just a blackout zone of radiation. So it's a good dark area that the only radiation coming in is space, and that's it. Everything else will just be zero impact. Besides itself, of course. But, very shortly we should be good on. Have to wait for this to melt, and then the nuclear reactor online. Oh, of course, the temperature in here needs to be dropping. Good! This was 500 degrees, down to 407. Thank goodness. Stuff is hot. Like, really hot. They're trying really, really hard to clean this up. Is that your airflow tile? Yep. It's not by the Red Bolt reproduction. What's happening is that whenever you save and load the game is not actually calculating these as airflow tiles. But what'll happen is that this will actually form as a vacuum. And then what'll occur after that is the game tries to put gas inside of it, but it can't calculate it. So then it just says, well, what's the closest thing that would be overpressure? And it says nuclear waste. As you can see. So what's happening is on saving and loading the game, I'm having nuclear waste teleporting into the tiles. So, it's a known bug. It's a really weird bug. It's not the end of the world, it's just marginally annoying. It slows down the production of rad bolts by like 6%. 24% there right now. But yeah, it is marginally annoying. It's just an issue when you save and load the game. It's sadly not an issue from the actual rad bolt production. Because if you run this indefinitely in a test world, for say, like, I set up a test world, I let it run for about 8 hours, I came back, this never happened. If you save and load the game, on the other hand, you will load the game and you will find that your airflow tiles have liquids in them. Which is super weird. Like, okay, cool. How did this happen? The game goes, I don't know. Trust me, I wish I knew the exact reason why this was occurring. Best guess, it's the good old Schrodinger's cat problem of teleporting resources when you're not looking at the planet. I haven't really done a heavy-duty test in a test world to see if I save the game in another world and then come back to it, see if that occurs, or if it's only when I'm looking at the planet and then saving. I haven't taken the time to do that yet. As you can see, the amount of mass did not change. I fired into it, nothing happened. It visually looks like something happened, but it's just an issue that Cly has to figure out a solution to that. I mean, it's a minor issue, so I doubt they'll ever really fix it. I just wish that they would fix the teleporting resource thing, as well as quantum tunneling crabs and orbs, because that is the worst kind. I mean, it does force you to have to run a doctor all the time, but I mean, one doc can handle all of the weird quantum tunneling issues that can happen. Glad that we haven't had any of those occur. Also, it's currently 1:02 a.m. We should actually get over to Genshin for our 1 hour of Genshin, and then we'll continue with Oxygen Not Included with episode 3 afterwards. So, for now, cycle 1091. Perfectly good stopping point. Yep. Sure. Save. We are actually saving on the main home base, so when we load up in an hour, we'll see what happens. If there's like 400 grams or more worth of nuclear waste sitting there, then, well, that kind of confirms a suspicion of mine, but we'll see.